The F-35A is a conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. Without the lift fan of the B variant, the space behind the cockpit is fuel, roughly 35% more fuel. That translates directly into a range of 590 nautical miles unrefueled combat radius. Then there is the gun. The F-35A is the only variant with an internal cannon. It is a 4-barrel GAU-22/A, chambered in 25 millimeters, mounted in the left wing root. At the weapon's rate of fire, that gives a pilot roughly 3 seconds of trigger time. The F-35B and C can carry a gun, but only as an external pod bolted onto a centerline hardpoint. The F-35A's design case is strong. Its program case is considerably harder to defend. In June 2026, the Government Accountability Office published its latest assessment of F-35 fleet readiness. The percentage of aircraft ready to perform every assigned mission fell to 25% across the entire fleet in fiscal year 2025. The F-35A posted the best result of the 3 variants at 28.5%. That is not a compliment. The Air Force's own target is 65%. The A variant, the cleanest design of the 3, with the fewest structural complexities, is meeting less than half its readiness goal. Program officials told GAO auditors that readiness will likely decline further before any improvement is seen. The proximate cause of the current crisis has a name: Technology Refresh 3. TR3 was the fleet-wide hardware and software upgrade that was supposed to modernize the F-35's computing backbone and unlock the Block 4 capability package. Expanded weapons integration, improved radar modes, enhanced electronic warfare. It was meant to keep the aircraft competitive against advancing threats through the 2030s. Instead, it became one of the more significant program failures in recent memory. The Pentagon's own testing directorate described the TR3 software as having delivered 0 new combat capabilities as of 2025. All 110 aircraft delivered in 2024 were configured with TR3 hardware, but loaded with interim software that restricted them to basic flight training. They could not conduct combat operations. Those aircraft averaged 238 days late in delivery. Block 4 full capability, originally targeted for 2026, is now projected no earlier than 2031. The Air Force responded in its 2026 budget by cutting F-35A procurement from a planned 48 aircraft to 24, a 50% reduction. The money did not disappear. Much of it was redirected toward sustainment and toward the 6th-generation F-47 program. Sustainment is where the program's structural problems become impossible to ignore. The estimated cost to fly the F-35A is approximately $36,000 per flight hour. The F-16 it replaced cost roughly half that. The GAO's projected lifetime sustainment cost for the entire F-35 program now approaches $1.6 trillion. That figure has increased with nearly every successive report. Part of the reason is a decision made at the program's inception that has compounded in cost ever since. The United States government does not own the technical data needed to independently maintain the F-35. That data belongs to Lockheed Martin. The practical consequence is that the military cannot open the sustainment work to competitive bidding. Only Lockheed Martin can perform certain essential maintenance functions. The GAO has flagged this repeatedly. The Pentagon's plan to address it, a Global Support Solution Reset, carries a price tag of $13.7 billion through 2031. Money spent not on new capability, but on getting the existing fleet to a baseline level of function. Spare parts shortages have grounded aircraft. Corrosion problems, partly related to the stealth coating's sensitivity, have accumulated in the fleet. Engine depot backlogs have extended downtime. These are not airframe design problems. The F-35A's wing did not cause them, but they fall on the A variant with the same weight they fall on the B and C, because the program infrastructure is shared even when the aircraft are not. The people who fly the F-35A are not, as a group, complaining. In large force exercises, the F-35A has demonstrated performance that older metrics struggle to capture. Aircraft that are effectively invisible to threat radar can position and engage without triggering the responses that a detectable aircraft would provoke. An adversary who cannot see the threat cannot react to it on a useful timeline. The stealth capability of the F-35A is not absolute. The aircraft has a radar cross-section that is low, not zero. At certain radar frequencies, particularly lower band systems, the reduction in observability is less dramatic. Electronic emissions from the aircraft's own systems create signatures that passive sensors can potentially detect. These are real limitations, and they are not secrets. But the combination of reduced radar cross-section, sensor fusion, and electronic warfare capability represents a different kind of threat than a fourth-generation aircraft. An adversary air defense system that can detect the F-35A at a reduced range still has less time to react, track, and engage. That margin matters. The program's defenders make a further argument that the readiness numbers, while genuinely bad, reflect the cost of a technological transition rather than a fundamental design failure. The TR-3 software crisis is real, but the Block 4 upgrade, when complete, will deliver sensor modes and weapons integration that no current tactical aircraft can match. The sustainment costs are real, but they are partly the growing pains of a system more complex than anything previously fielded in tactical aviation. The argument is that the F-35A's problems are solvable, and that what lies on the other side of them is a capability the alternatives cannot replicate. Whether that argument is correct depends heavily on whether the program can actually deliver on those timelines. So is the F-35A the only F-35 that makes sense? On the engineering question, the answer is straightforward. The A variant is the design without the B's fuel penalty, without the C's structural weight, with an internal gun neither sibling carries, with the best fuel fraction, the highest G rating, and the longest unrefueled range of the three. It is the F-35 closest to what the airframe was designed to be before the other services imposed their requirements on it. On the program question, the answer is considerably less comfortable. The F-35A sits inside a sustainment architecture it did not design and cannot escape. Its readiness rate is the best of a bad set. Its upgrade path is years behind where it was supposed to be. Its cost per flight hour has made the Air Force cut procurement in half. These are not problems the A variant created, but they are problems the A variant shares.